That's called New Furniture. The funniest kid I ever knew was Mike Adams. We had a rich supply of clowns and little devils in my class at St. Mary's, but as early as 4th or 5th grade, we all recognized that Mike Adams had true wit, as I think this story illustrates. It also proves how subversive kids can be. At St. Mary's Catholic Grade School, everything was routine. The curriculum varied by grade level, as at other schools where things were less insane, but the details at St. Mary's in the parish called Church of the Immaculate Conception, York, Pennsylvania, were regimented and repeated ad nauseum like Army drill. Once a week, every class, 1st through 8th grade, suffered through a singing lesson with Sister Caroline. We sang hymns so we'd be ready for church on Sunday. Our band of little demons made sure that the music teacher would suffer as much as we did. Sister Caroline was the most unfortunate looking woman for whom being cloistered in a convent may have been a lucky break. She was short, dwarfish, as they say, with a distinct mustache, one crooked eye, and front teeth that flared out at radical angles. She was graced with a temperament to match her appearance. True to parochial school code, Sister Caroline never varied her musical routine. She entered the classroom briskly, clapped a music book down on the desk. She produced a wood and wire device that held 5 pieces of chalk, and with which she drew all 5 lines of a music staff on the blackboard in one swipe. She swiftly drew a treble clef at the head of the staff. Treble clef is that spiral figure that precedes the notes. I've forgotten the significance of it, but music teachers take a lot of pride in how well and how quickly they can draw it. Just one aside, I had taken private piano lessons from another nun, Sister Florinda, when I was in 1st grade. I dreaded each session. Sister Florinda scared me. She had a worse temper than Sister Caroline. Every time I struck a wrong note, often enough, she curled a long, pale pink tongue between her teeth, made a hissing sound like a leaky radiator on a winter day, and cracked the back of my fingers with the edge of a wooden ruler until tears filled my eyes and I couldn't read the notes on the sheet music before me. After that, music ceased to be my aspiration. Sister Caroline, after drawing the musical staff, the treble clef on the blackboard, produced a round chrome pitch pipe from a hidden pocket under the starched white bib of her black habit, the shrouded mysteries of which we 10-year-old boys shudder to imagine. She put the pipe to her lips and blew a single sustained note. The note was followed invariably by a sing-song chant at the pitch of that note. Ready now, class, sing after me, new. She pronounced the word as if it were spelled N-E-W. To Mike Adams, it was spelled that way indeed. Across the street from St. Mary's School, there was a furniture store. On the front of that store, there protruded a metal sign with neon tubing that spelled out the words, New Furniture. It was a phrase that we saw so often as we came in and out of school that it was embedded in our budding collective consciousness. Before Mike Adams, however, it bore no special resonance. One day when Sister Caroline blew her note and chanted her instruction to sing after her, new, we responded as we always did in unison, new. Then after a beat or two of silence, we heard Mike Adams' voice from the back of the room singing softly and right on pitch the additional word, furniture. Well, every kid in the room got the reference instantly, and 25 10-year-olds turned to giggling jello with laughter. New furniture, what a howler. Sister Caroline had no idea what it was we were laughing at. Apparently in her years there, she had been too busy with her prayers or her rage to notice that sign across the street. Our homeroom teacher, Sister Mary Hitler, or whatever her name was, threatened threatened us with death if we didn't come back to order. She moved to the back of the room to hover threateningly over Mike Adams. She was determined that he would not disrupt our music lesson again. As previously noted, Sister Caroline never varied her routine. After the disruption, she had us undertake the vocal exercise again. She blew the same note on the pitch pipe, beep. Again, the sing-song voice chanted, "Ready now, class, sing after me, new." And once again, we sang in unison, new. There was a silence for a longer beat the second time. None of us moved. No one breathed. No one looked around. But every one of us knew Mike Adams, and we had faith that he would not be intimidated. Sure enough, after a long voice, he sang out again on pitch, "Furniture." Blam! Sister Mary Hitler clobbered him on the side of the head, and we all but fell out of our seats laughing. Sister Caroline's gnome face contorted and turned beet red. Sister Mary Hitler dragged Mike Adams to the adjoining cloakroom by his ear. There was more commotion as she knocked him around in the cloakroom and threatened him with something worse than death if he didn't behave. I don't know why Sister Caroline didn't move on to another exercise. Like do-re-mi or something. But she didn't. I guess she was determined to get this one right without Mike Adams being around to spoil it. Anyway, she went through the whole routine again, and again, we played our part, or sang our part. New. This time everyone froze. Teachers and students listening with rabbit ears. Sister Mary H. stood guard outside the cloakroom door, ready to rush in and brutalize her prisoner if he dared this little joke again. This pause lasted a long time. A pregnant pause, as they say. Not a peep was heard from Mike Adams. Sister Caroline looked pleased. Sister Mary H. nodded her satisfaction. The music teacher put the pitch pipe to her lips again and blew a higher note this time. Beep. Once again she chanted, "Ready now, class, sing after me." And before she could ring out the new note on her pipe, a muffled voice was heard from deep inside the cloakroom as if it was set on a 10-second delay. Furniture. Sister Caroline slammed her pitch pipe to the desk, exasperated. Sister Mary Hitler burst into the cloakroom, for which crashing and clattering sounds emanated, as she no doubt tossed little Mike around the oversized closet, bouncing him off the walls, as we all cheered on our indomitable comedian, and Sister Caroline levitated with frustration. Week after week, Sister Caroline returned to our classroom. What a trauma it must have been for her to face our childish barbarity every time. For her, every appearance, Mike Adams would be banished to the cloakroom. Every new session, Sister Caroline, who should probably be made a saint for enduring all this, would repeat the same opening routine. Pitch pipe, beep, "Ready now, class, sing after me, new," and Mike Adams either would or would not sing out "Furniture." If he did not do it, we would laugh just as hard as if he did do it. To their everlasting credit, Sister Caroline learned to ignore him, and Sister Mary Hitler gave up rapping him on the head and bouncing him off the walls. And after a while, Mike gave it up too and turned his imagination to fresh material.